Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey Skryzak. We are continuing coverage on that officer-involved shooting that resulted in the death of 38-year-old Rocky Dupin. Last night, Decatur police released body cam footage of the incident showing officers firing on Dupin after he pulled out what was thought to be a real gun. Now, we have learned that one of the officers involved in the shooting in Decatur was also part of another officer-involved shooting last year. News Channel 20's Julia Rosier joins us in studio with more. Julia?
Stacey, Decatur police have confirmed that Officer Dawson Roberts was also involved in another officer-involved shooting last March. But one law enforcement association tells me that this isn't common. The investigation into the officer-involved shooting that left a man dead is still underway in Decatur. 2 officers opened fire on an armed robbery suspect who was believed to be armed with a gun. Decatur Police Chief Shane Brandell says officers go through training for dangerous incidents, but whether an officer uses deadly force depends entirely on the situation they're facing.
Every situation is different. Most police officers will tell you they've been in deadly force scenarios. It doesn't mean you always have to use it, but sometimes you do.
Brandell says one of the officers involved, Officer Dawson Roberts, a 2-year veteran of the force, was involved in another officer-involved shooting in March 2023. This incident was a domestic violence call, with the Macon County State's Attorney clearing all officers who fired their weapons of any wrongdoing.
They understand that when they perceive an objectively reasonable threat to them, deadly threat to themselves or another, they have justification to use deadly force.
We wanted to know how likely it is for officers to be involved in multiple officer-involved shootings this close together.
How common or uncommon is it that an officer would be involved in incidents like this twice or even twice within the last year?
Extremely uncommon. In fact, I'm not aware of another circumstance where that would have been the case. So, most police officers can go their entire career without having to fire a round at someone.
The Illinois Sheriff's Association agrees with the Decatur police that the use of force depends on the situation.
And you need to have the fear for your own life and fear for the others that are around you. When somebody's holding a gun and they're starting to move that towards you, that's a pretty good indicator that your life or others are at risk at that point in time.
When discussing the officer's use of force, Chief Brandell also says that the fact that the suspect had a replica gun instead of a real firearm is irrelevant because at the time the officers had no way of knowing it was not a real gun, and they made a decision based off of what was happening in the moment. In studio, I'm Julia Rosier. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. Now, the Illinois State Police, they are still investigating that incident in Decatur. Both officers are still on administrative leave. Once the Illinois State Police are finished with their investigation, they will submit it to the Macon County State's Attorney for review. Thanks for watching. Stick around by subscribing today and don't miss a single video.